Hello everyone, I'm Eli Frank, and welcome to another episode of me sharing my deepest, darkest secrets to some strangers on the internet, or maybe friends, who knows. I wanted to talk about something that I've been struggling with for the past week. I've been trying to change, trying to be better as a person, and be better to myself, finally be comfortable with my own body, with the way I feel. So I've been struggling with addiction. I've been struggling with overeating. I've been struggling with being extremely lazy. I've been struggling with other stuff that is just uh, stopping bad habits is so hard because it feels like this Greek myth, Sisyphus, that you like push a rock to the top of a mountain and like starting is kind of simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Then keeping it going becomes easier, but at the same time becomes harder because when you have just like one slip up, you feel like you can't do it. Like it's super hard. Like why even try if you're not gonna get it right? And then when you actually fail, the ball falls all the way down the mountain and you have to start again. And it's just the most discouraging thing ever. And I've struggled with that a lot before. And right now, the ball hasn't fallen yet, but it's been pretty close. It's been really, really hard to change my habits because I have to change them. When you get to a certain age, you start noticing that you've been doing nothing with yourself pretty much. Like you haven't you haven't done the simple things in life. So what did you expect yourselves to do to achieve your dreams if you can't even make your bed after waking up every day? Being a total and complete procrastinator all the time instead of actually spending your time on something useful. And having a rest and not doing anything is fine sometimes. I completely understand that. Or letting yourself go a little bit and enjoying yourself from time to time also is pretty good for you. But at the same time, you don't want to do it because you fear falling down. You fear the ball going down all the way back to the start of the mountain, to the very bottom. So you don't actually want to enjoy yourself. You want to be as strict as possible, just to avoid having to start again from the start, like all the previous times. And I feel that that's just the way that addictions work. You have a lot of will inside you, but you don't have a lot of reason to not keep doing it. Like, for example, I am someone that really likes beer, but I'm not an alcoholic. Like, I will not go drunk to a kid's party. Like, simply, that's just not the place. I prefer to, if I'm gonna get drunk, it's gonna be in a party, and I get drunk because I know that if I don't get drunk, then I simply won't talk to anyone because beer makes me extroverted while I'm super introverted in reality. So it's like I'm not an alcoholic, but I do understand that beer and other types of alcohol make me feel good. Now, for the people that are actually alcoholic, I completely get that they can't stop because, like, it makes you feel good, and keep doing it also makes you feel good. But you deep down know that it's a problem. It's the same stuff that's happening to me right now. I It's not only the fact that I have stopped eating so much, it's also the fact that I have to stop being so lazy. I have to actually start doing exercise. For example, I struggled a lot to brush my teeth. I did brush my teeth from time to time, but most times I forgot entirely about brushing my teeth. Now I do it every day, at least twice, if I can thrice. But before I couldn't do it. It was so hard for me to actually wanna get up, go to the bathroom, and brush my fucking teeth, and it was disgusting, of course. But once you start doing it, it becomes easier. The more you do it, the more it becomes part of your daily routine, becomes a habit instead of a bad habit. And once you get to that point that you just kind of do it automatically, you get healthier. And my cat is meowing. What happened? Man, come on. Oh, little baby kitten. He's not a kitten, he's 3 years old. He's also an addiction of mine because he's very cute and I really like him. He's my son. I'm not gonna cut this. This is very cute. I'm gonna keep it in. But what I was saying is, you want to start from somewhere. Generally from somewhere. Like, if you're a complete and total procrastinator that can do just the most basic of chores like I was, you start from doing your bed every day. Genuinely. Like, genuinely just do your bed. It doesn't matter if you think it's not right the first time, it doesn't matter if you think it may be useless to do it, just do it. Because it generates that part of your daily routine. And then once you generate something new, you then want to go to somewhere else, something else new, like cooking for yourself something nice, or doing laundry, or doing other chores. Once you actually get into the habit part or into the daily routine part of something, it's more difficult to stop doing it than to keep doing it. But it is true that one slip up may make you fail forever. A lot of people that struggle with addiction always say that, as I used to say, that addicts will always be addicts. That doesn't matter in what is it or how much they advance, the feeling in their head that they will always be an addict is still there. The reliance and the need to do the stuff that they are trying to avoid entirely is still there. It's still there, the thought that, hey, I will fail eventually, why not fail right now? And it sucks ass because you don't want to fail. Failing feels even worse than sleeping. But and it feels even worse than not sleeping. It feels even worse than trying hard than because how is it called? Withdrawal is such a bitch. Feeling like you need it, and your heart and brain screams at you that, hey, maybe just give it a little try. Hey, just this time, never again. That sort of stuff. It's dangerous as hell, and you tend to maybe listen to those voices, maybe try, and sometimes it's okay to fail because it's a part of learning. Not everyone knows how well, as long as you don't give up entirely, as long as you fail but try again immediately, that's completely fine. As long as you don't go and say, well, good try, never again. It's okay to fail sometimes. It makes you learn, it makes you know more about yourself, it makes you know what your limits are, what your potential is. And addictions are such a bitch, to be honest. It's very, very hard to not be a procrastinator, to not be lazy, to not overeat, to not drink alcohol, to not smoke, to not vape, to not jerk off if you're addicted to porn. know a lot of people that are, by the way. It's really, really weird to talk about stuff that it's it's just very personal, dude, because you feel judged every time that you talk about something like this. You feel like people maybe won't understand you entirely, that maybe you are just like, oh, you're so weak, you're so pathetic, oh, how can you not do this? This is super easy. You don't get it. We're not the same person, we're not built the same. I have different needs that you do, and judging me doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's ridiculous to believe that someone may have the same willpower than others, or that someone will have the same capabilities of someone else. It doesn't work that way. Everyone's different, everyone has been raised different, everyone has been taught different. So just try to help instead of judging. Just try to be helpful. Say something that you do. Say, give advice. Be a friend. If if you meet someone who's struggling with an addiction, instead of constantly bringing them down to the floor and saying, "Hey, you're a fucking addict," try to help them. Try to, I don't know, share your good habits with them. Because at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm succeeding is because I'm getting help. My mother, for example, is the one that's helping me the most, and the rest of my family is just there for the ride without actively sabotaging me. So it's I've been doing fine. And also the pills. The pills are really good. Pills make me feel very, very good. I've been taking some anxiety pills and diet pills that make you eat less and that make you feel like binge eating. It's this thing where you like just open the fridge and get whatever you want. That's something that I used to do all the time and with extremely like gross and ridiculous food. And now I don't do it. I've been basically week free without doing it. And it's thanks to the pills, thanks to the support, and thanks to my willpower. But it's just been a week. I barely, 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 barely moved the rock, the boulder. It's still a hell of a high mountain to climb, but it's doable. I failed already a lot of times, but this time I think it's gonna be different because this time I actually feel like I want to do it instead of just procrastinating on it. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you can recuperate from your addiction and learn and grow from it instead of being stuck with it forever. Bye.